Back to Dubbzi Bricks for another episode of building Gotham City in Lego, and the chaos of the docks is so sad seeing it in such a bad state, considering this was one of the most polished parts of Gotham City before I decided to have the massive change around. So yeah, looking forward to getting this back to how it should be looking. In the last update, I worked on the raised train line. I went as far as I could with that until I get hold of small plates. And I am going to Dublin on Friday. Today is Wednesday. I'm setting up for the convention on Friday afternoon. So I'm going to pop to the Lego store in the morning and hopefully I'll be able to pick up all of the 2x4 black plates I need to be able to get the entire train line all reinforced. It'd be so nice to get that all up and done. Now in this update, I'm going to work on getting the docks back to how they should be. There's going to be a couple of changes to the docks, and that's purely down to the fact I've now moved the docks down this way. The ramp that comes over, or the bridge that comes over from the raised platform area there, is more down this end of the docks now rather than in the centre. So I think I just need to shift this building up a little bit. Now, the electronics for the shipping warehouse there, they were pulled up when the destruction took place of the docks, so it's not a massive deal for me to move the building down because I need to put the wires back in for that structure anyway. But I'm running out of room massively at the moment due to getting the Old Wayne Tower all set up for the convention. Part of the Tantive is now in Gotham City, so I need to find a temporary home for that so I can then start work on all of this area here, because I really want to start working on the rock work for Arkham Island. So yeah, exciting times. This is one project I'm really looking forward to. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a bit of a tidy up first of all, and then we can start working on the docks. And it's decision time with a couple of the builds here on the docks. I need to work out which of these two I'm going to have as the Falcone shipping warehouse. I'm thinking this is probably the better one due to the fact we've got the office on the top. This one here I'm considering changing over. I'm considering making it so that it's blocked off there. So that's the length of it. So we've just got the 2 openings as opposed to the 3. It's just going to enable me to give a little bit more room on the docks here. Now this structure here that I made, I think this one is going to be scrapped now. Due to the road coming across here right at the end of the docks, I can't fit all of the buildings along, including that one. Previously that one was down the other end at the back. However, this one doesn't look right being on the end. So what I'm considering doing at the moment is scrap that building, reduce the size of the docks so it finishes just here. That's going to give me an extra 8 studs of water, which I think will look a lot better, having a little bit more water between the docks and the Arkham Island. So I just need to decide on whether or not to make those changes, what I'm going to call this warehouse now. I did like having it as Falcone shipping, and I think originally I was going to have it so that this was the Falcone warehouse and this was something totally different, which I could still do. However, we have got the office on the top of that one, so it's I do quite like how that one's come out. Yes, plenty of decisions to make with this here. This image on screen now is one of the first images I came across when I was searching for Gotham docks, and I really do like the style of it, and I'm just wondering if I can get a couple more structures in that make it look a little bit more like that. So reducing this Falcone shipping warehouse here would enable me potentially to do so. But anyway, let's have a good think about it. I'm going to amend this either way, and I'll check back in once we've made a bit of progress. And that's the docks area all tidied up. I need to find a whole load of the tiles out. I need some 2x4s to go the whole length of here. And I'm just wondering whether or not to raise this section up here by a plate or two to make it look like it is, there's a curbside around that section. Now there is a gap behind the docks there for a road, which would be, I think it's 12 studs wide. So if any vehicles did want to drive along the back there, they could do so, which just means I would need to amend that line. But the markings on the whole of this docks area, I'm not 100% sold on it. So I've decided I'm just going to leave them as they are for the time being, have a good think about it, have a look at some images online as well and see what actual docks look like, and go from there. And I'm wondering whether it looked better with white lines as opposed to yellow. The yellow in a way almost makes me feel like it's a little bit too bright, too modern, and it's not really giving me the Gotham vibe. So yeah, we'll be experimenting with that. And I want to put some fence pieces along the edge of this section as well. But all in all, really happy with how that's all coming along. Now what I'm going to do is tidy up this section along the front here. Then I'll get that all tiled off with the trans tiles. And that's the water all sorted out outside the docks, and that has taken hours to get sorted. And there's so many tiles that you need to put down, mix the pattern up on there as much as possible. And I've done away with using these trans brown tiles. I've used purely the light trans blue, or certainly where you can see it. Under the boat we've used the dark blue, and under here I've used dark blue and the brown ones because you're not going to see them. But the one reason I've done that is the Pickwick has recently started stocking the 1x1 trans blue tiles. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get enough to actually get all of the water done along Gotham City there. So that'd be really good. But now we've got all of the water done and got the docks all nice and tidy and back to pretty much how it was before, I'm going to turn my attention at long last to the water around Arkham Island. And there we have the outline of Arkham Island, and it's quite a nice size. Once I put the building on there, it does feel a little bit smaller, but at least it's we've got it all mapped out now, and I'm quite happy with the amount of gap we've got between the docks and the island, and also where we're going to have Ace Chemicals. Now, I have decided Ace Chemicals is going to be where the Joker's Funhouse is going to be. Joker's Funhouse is going to be up higher. Now, the technique that I've used here is the same as what I used on my back cave. And all I've done is, you've got the black plate to start with, and then on top of that, I've just put another row of filler plates. And then around the edge of the filler plate, I've put some tiles. So just do this as an example. So you cover all the four edges of that. Now that you've got the tiles all surrounding the filler plate, then you can just cover it over with the actual wedge plates or normal grey plates. And the good thing with this style is once you put the rock work on top of the actual plates, it looks like the water's actually going up against them. You haven't got any ugly gaps around it. So I just find that's a really good technique. I thought it worked really well on my back cave, hence using the same technique again. Now, one other thing we have got with this is I have made sure there are no joins at all on the plates. So all 6 of these plates, which the Arkham Island is going to be on, separate. The only place they might be attached is by one plate on the very edge of it where the water is, just to keep it all clipped together. But it's just an easy break off when it comes to transporting this to a convention. So when I do the stand inside or start building the rock work up again, I will be doing it section at a time. One thing I do need to do is make this into a mills plate inside here, so that it's got plenty of strength when moving it. Unfortunately, I have run out of filler plate. I've used all of it on the temporary mills plate that I'm using for my Old Wayne Tower. Now, I haven't managed to get as much done this week as I was hoping on Gotham City, but part of that has been down to a Lego convention in Dublin this weekend. Needed to get a mills plate all set up, ready for the Wayne Tower to sit on, as I didn't want to take part of the city up there. So that did take me a day or so just to get that ready. Now, there will be a video coming out on Monday, which will be of the amendments that I've made to the Old Wayne Tower. So I've done a lot of work on the Old Wayne Tower, and I've also shown you how I exhibited it as well. And also show you some of the other models that were on display at Brickcon in Dublin. Today I actually popped up to the convention where it's being held and set it all up ready for tomorrow, and then I popped in to the Lego store and had the best customer service ever there from Shane. As soon as I walked in the door, he said to me, "You're here for 2x4 black plate, aren't you?" So yep, sure enough, that's what we're there for. He went out the back, got the plates for me, and then helped me fill up 3 boxes of it. So we've now got about 1,800 2x4 black plates here, all ready to do the raised train line. So that is something that we can now crack on and get fully reinforced next week. So I'm so excited to finally get that done so we can get the train whizzing around there and make sure that it all looks good when it's going. So thank you again, Shane. You are a superstar. Always a pleasure to catch up. The Blanchardstown Lego store is by far my favourite Lego store. The staff are always fantastic up there, as I experienced again today with Shane. He really is a top man. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if anybody else you think you'd be interested in building Gotham City in Lego, if you could share the channel with them, it'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.